A delay in game update 2.15, which is going to put off the Brilliant event and Community Day, but they're giving us dragons. I'm Professorvoqas, and this is Harry Potter Wizards Unite.
Hello, Professor. I didn't see you there.
Wow, so much has been happening in the last just 24 hours, or at least couple days, with the Trace Charm, that whole situation. And now they're delaying game update 2.15, which I didn't even realize was coming because they hadn't announced it or anything like that. But I guess there was a new game update, which the September Wizarding event and the Community Day were going to rely on something about that update. So they've pushed the Brilliant event back 1 week, well, week 1 back 1 week, which is going to take Community Day and actually push it into October. So we may have 2 in October, or maybe in October they'll actually switch this formula they've been doing of 2 Brilliant events, a Wizarding weekend, and a Community Day each month. The plus side to all of this is that they're giving us a Dragon Week, which is essentially this week when you're watching this video. It starts on Tuesday the 8th and goes through the 15th of September. It actually starts at 9 a.m. Pacific. Instead of 11, it starts at 9. And it's not the start time why they did the 9 a.m. It's the end time is 9 a.m. Pacific as well, because the Tuesday that it ends, 2 hours later at 11 o'clock is when the Brilliant event starts. So they're trying to, I guess, give that 2 hour gap to at least shut down one event and start the others. I imagine it's that instead of trying to have at 11 o'clock one event end and another event begin immediately. So anyway, just be aware it's at 9 a.m. Pacific. If you're trying to start like right when it starts, or to know that it ends a couple hours early. As much as it seems we're being given dragons to kind of appease us and maybe distract us from the Trace Charm or that type of thing, I'm still happy with what's happening right now. Number one, we're getting dragons, so I'm just happy about that, regardless of the reason. The second thing is, and I talked about this in yesterday's video, I was talking about taking a month to solve something, or 2 months, and just announcing that they're solving something. So this, to me, is kind of like that. This week, because this event isn't task-related, it doesn't involve the night bus, it doesn't involve it, they just had to turn spawns on and put some different port keys out, which to me seems like the type of thing they can do without too much trouble on their end. It's something they already do for Brilliant events and stuff, and on Brilliant events, we never have trouble with the foundables or anything like that. It's always the night bus or a task that has something odd happening with it. So this gives them at least 1 week, this week, where they can maybe work out some of the bugs and work out some of these things before 2.15 is released, which I'm guessing probably addresses a lot of these things. So that hopefully when we get back to Brilliant event and other Brilliant event and Community Day, maybe some of these things are worked out. I'm not saying everything's going to be solved, and I really have no idea. But I still feel it's a step in the right direction to just give themselves time. Just give yourself time to fix some things while nothing else is particularly going on that's going to continue to exacerbate problems that exist right now. So definitely happy Dragon Week is coming. I actually missed it last time. It was a time when I was taking a break from the game. I'm super excited because all I've ever gotten are the things that are normally here for me, which is the Peruvian Viper Tooth. And I was able to get the Chinese Fireball during a time when it was appearing over here for some reason. And I don't even remember the event at that time or what was going on, why I was getting just that one. But I certainly haven't seen the other two. And we're going to go over what I've got and what I don't have. So let's go over the event itself. I put up a graphic here. Thanks again to Orange Wizard 2019, who always gets this information and is able to make graphics for us, so definitely appreciate it. Anyway, you can see there's 4 dragons that are going to be appearing. The common Welsh green, the Antipodean opali, I had to look up how to pronounce that, by the way, the Chinese Fireball, and the Peruvian Viper Tooth, which the Peruvian Viper Tooth I've seen all the time. There was just a video the other day where I actually ran into a Peruvian Viper Tooth. I thought it was going to be Fluffy, 3-headed dog, or a horned serpent, and then it was a Peruvian Viper Tooth just randomly. So I've gotten those, which is nice. Oh, by the way, it's hard to see in the graphic maybe, but the Welsh, the common green Welsh, and the Antipodean opali, both of those are severe level foundables, whereas the Fireball and the Peruvian Viper Tooth, those are both emergency level foundables. So one part of the event is just going to be encountering those 4 dragons and battling them and getting those fragments. One real nice thing, though, is, and I think most people will be able to be fine with this unless you are a brand new player, is unlike other events, when you encounter it, it's going to take energy to, defeat it, but you're going to get the fragment. It is not going to depart on you because oddities don't depart. So that's one thing I'm very excited is you see it and you're going to get it. You're going to be able to, battle it, get the fragment. So I'm excited about that, not worrying about, is it going to depart, which means I don't have to use any potions or anything like that. So awesome. Now on the bottom half of the graphic here, you can see there are 4 eggs and 4 port keys. The eggs are all related to the actual dragons themselves. 4 types of eggs, 4 types of dragons. It's that dragon's eggs. So the port keys, which are all different colors you see on the screen, you won't actually know which one you're getting, at least you didn't last time. During the dragon event last time, the port keys did have like an animation, so you could tell you were getting an event port key, kind of like when you get Brilliance, versus you're getting just a plain port key. So during the event, these port keys will appear on the ground. You'll pick up an event port key, and then you'll see which of the 4 dragon eggs you're going to get out of the port key. And the idea is they're all 1 kilometer port keys. You walk it, when you open it, you're going to get 1 egg out of it. And that's how it worked last time as well. Which this is kind of a bummer because if you really need the, common Welsh and you're picking up port keys, you might continue to get the other colors and you just have to keep walking them until you pick up a new port key, and then that has to be the one you want. So it's still not targeted in the sense that if you need specific ones, you may keep picking up port keys and keep getting the other colors that you don't need. So this event mainly revolves around just going around, returning those dragon foundables, walking those port keys, and getting and getting eggs. There's no tasks as far as we know. There shouldn't be. And there also is no in-store bundles or anything like that, no bonus tasks, no other things you have to do except for just play the game and just get dragons as they become available. Whoa, I just opened up my game because I wanted to show you some of where I am on those pages and talk about some strategies of how much you need and that type of thing. But look at that, a newt and a unicorn appeared. Well, let me go after the newt first, actually. So while we're going after the newt, we can talk about what kind of goals you would have for this. And for a lot of people, this is the only thing they need left to gold prestige. So I know a lot of people are going to be pushing to get their pages to gold and or getting to gold and then getting the green star. All right, let's hit this unicorn now. So for me, I definitely am not prestige everything to gold except for those pages, especially having taken a break from the game for a number of months. So for me, we're going to go to my pages in a second, and we'll look over what I'm trying to accomplish with this and how far I think I can get. And really, it is kind of going to be I'm going to play it out and see how it goes. The port keys are really going to be the main holdback, I would imagine. Does yours ever do this? You can see my screen right now. I'm catching it, and then it seems to lose its signal for some reason, and it gets into this loop. It usually doesn't have me return the foundable now. It does this loop, and then it's going to pop out, and exactly. This has happened to me a number of times. I've never actually got it on camera, so something bad happened, and I was excited about it because you got to see it. I'm going to catch it, but then that delay for some reason sets it off, and then it won't let me actually do it. Hey, I did get it. That was like 6 casts later, though, mind you. So it did take me a while. But that's just an odd thing that happens. It does that. Look like I'm going to catch it, but then it just keeps spinning. It does that darker screen, starts to think about things a little bit, and then it pops back to not a departure denial, nothing like that. I didn't have a doll draft on. It just is like, since it lost communication, it just went back to the default of you're still battling this foundable. Okay, so let's head into the registry, and we have a side note here. It's right here at the Ministry of Magic, is that this page, if you look, I've been holding on to a lot of fragments, not the interdepartmental memos, you can see that not, but I have 3 green starred, and all 3 of them I've had max fragments for about a week while I've been trying to build up the prophecy down there. I ended up getting that prophecy yesterday, so if you look at the prophecy, 38 out of 38, I'm going to go ahead and place that image. By the way, so I'm going to gold prestige on this page, which is why it's exciting to bring those fragments over to the next page. Cool, so let's go ahead and prestige that page over. Yes. Carry those fragments over, because placing images on a gold page gets you more of things. More ministry manuals, more family experience, which is going to give you more trunks, which is all of that is a good thing because of the experience you get from that and that type of thing. So nice. So Yeah, all those 38 that I carried over, now I need 55, but I'm 38 closer. So I do that on a lot of pages, which I've shown you in the past. Anyway, let's go over to Magic Zoology. I think I have a rank up, and I think that's it. I don't think I have an image to place. I got a Trace Charm recharge, which again, Trace Charm's not as powerful, but it's still useful. It's still useful. And the clone is still happening. That has not ended yet. So if it continues for this week, then it should mean that when we encounter those dragons, hopefully we can at least Trace Charm the dragon, which we're not going to get those extra however many emergency or severe level foundables we would have gotten. But if at least it clones the dragon, at least it gets us more fragments of the dragon. Not to mention it will give us bonus fragments. So the dragon should be the least of our, I say, worries. You shouldn't be worrying if you're playing this game. It should be fun. So it should make it easier to get those fragments, which is why the Portman 2 are really going to be the thing that makes it harder to get the pages prestiged. I've come over to the Oddities Registry because this is where most of the event will take place, so to speak. It's where you're going to be looking to fill out, which is Oddities 3 and Oddities 4. Out of these 3, the Chinese Fireball and the Chinese Fireball Egg, and the Antipodean Opal Eye and its egg, and then the next page is the Common Welsh Green and the Peruvian Viper Tooth, and then their eggs. So again, the dragons themselves, I'm on the base page. I haven't even made it to bronze, certainly not silver or gold. So I'm trying to just get as far as I can. How far can I get in 1 week? The number of dragon fragments needed from page to page to page is different based on if it's severe or emergency. Like I said, the Antipodean Opal Eye and the Common Welsh Green are severe, and that's this one here that's unknown, and then the next page here, it's also my other unknown. Both of them are severe. So to place those images, I need 5 fragments, then 10 fragments, then 13 fragments, then 18 fragments. So for me, I'm going to need 46 fragments total on both of those. Now that doesn't mean I need to see 46 of them, because if I manage to pull off a Trace Charm on any of them, that's going to get me, potentially would get me 4 fragments for that one sighting. If I get it, it clones itself, I get 2 fragments from each of them. Keep in mind, if I'm using Tonic for trace detection, and one of them appears, then I can't do that. It's going to have to be one I see in the wild. I'm not going to get the 4 fragments from that. Now, the other 2 dragons, the Peruvian Viper Tooth and the Chinese Fireball, they are emergency level, so technically we would see them less, which, if you look, those are the 2 I actually, the other way. Those are the 2 I already have for this page, so I don't need them for this page. So I'll need less fragments total, but you need 3 fragments, then 5 on the next page, then 7 on silver, and then on gold you need 10. So you would need 25 total fragments to place that image on the gold page to make it all the way through. Now, these 2 things being said, it really depends on your goals. For me, I just want to get to the gold page. I'm actually not worried about if I place the image on the gold page. If I get to do that, great. I really just am trying to gold frame things, and it's more of a collector thing. I mean, there's no specific bonus to that. It's just something to shoot for. So for me, I eventually would like to get this to gold, which means I actually need less fragments per dragon, because you get to the gold page by just completing the silver. And then on the gold page, placing the image is that last batch of fragments, which is the biggest amount. It's either 18 or 10, depending on severe or emergency. So that's a lot less fragments I actually need just to make it to gold. But your goals might be different. Looking at the eggs, they're all listed as high-level foundables, but they're not foundables that need a level specifically because you only get them from the port keys themselves. By the way, in the previous event, they were also available on the ground. That, according to a couple people, they've said that is not the case. I mean, Orange Wizard usually gets all the information, and that wasn't in the graphic that I showed earlier. So I as of right now, that is not a planned thing, so port keys will be the only way you get them. And the fragment count on them is a lot higher because they are a lower level foundable than the dragons, but harder to get, so that's kind of a bummer again. But you need 12 fragments on this first page, which you can see, like the Chinese Fireball, I'm 2 out of 12 because I managed to get 2 fragments at some point. 2 out of 12. So it's 12 for the first page, it's 20 for the silver or bronze page, It is 30 for the silver page, which then gets you to gold. So if you were just doing that, it would take you 62 fragments. 62 fragments to make it, just to make it to the gold page. Now on the gold page, it's 45 fragments to actually place the egg again on that page, to green star the gold page. But even at 62 fragments, that means 62 port keys if you're starting from 0. So for the Antipodean Opali, which I have 0, I would need 52 kilometer worth of walking that port key, of getting those specific port key for that fragment. So this might be difficult to move to gold, certainly. I don't think I'll be able to make that. Not to mention, I don't have a lot of silver keys. I hadn't specifically planned on buying a lot of them unless they put something in the store that they didn't announce. So if you are at 0, it will take you 62 fragments, which each port key only gives you 1. 1 kilometer to walk it. So 1 kilometer, 62 kilometers, that many port keys, get the right port key, all of that. But for the Chinese Fireball and for the common Welsh Green, which I have a couple of as well, I think I've got from port keys as well, regular port keys that have a super rare chance to drop them. I only need 60, but I'm not sure how far I'll make it. I think realistically, I can certainly realistically make it to bronze. That's 12, essentially 12 port keys per egg. That's still 48 port keys that I'm trying to do in a week, which I know they're only 1 kilometer, but I just don't do that many. I've never really specifically gone after them, and I will be trying to go after them, but like I talked about before, when you go to pick them up, you don't know what you're going to get. Not only do I have to walk the distance and have the keys to do it, I also need to pick up the port keys and have them actually be what I need, because every time you grab something you don't need, you can't just get rid of it. You have to walk it just to open up that slot again. So certainly going to be difficult. Bronze is going to be my main goal. If I squeak out silver, fantastic. But I'm just going to be trying to make it to bronze with those eggs. And I'm going to definitely make sure at the end of the event even to at least have all 10 port keys filled up with more egg port keys, just because you can walk them after the event and still get the fragments. Especially there's no task or anything that you need these for. So it will really make no difference when you get it. Make sure, if you do the event, right toward the end, go ahead and just fill up just so you have those port keys. Then you can walk them at your leisure, and it really doesn't matter. Speaking of port keys, if you see my current port key situation, I have a couple 1 kilometers, and then those of you that watch my videos know I was trying to build back up to getting 10 5 kilometer / 10 kilometer really in normal time port keys, and I was going to open up all 10 on Abrufios again. Well, with this event, this is before this event got announced, but because port keys are such a big part of this event, I will be clearing all these out, obviously. I'm going to clear them out later today, actually, in a session that I'll be playing. You'll see that in tomorrow's video. But anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to clear port keys out. So this event, to prepare for it, definitely clear your port keys out. Clear your port keys out and have all your slots ready to go, because from day 1, you're going to want to start running those through to be able to get those fragments for the eggs, and then immediately pick up another one. Even if you're only using the gold key, you just want to keep filling up to make sure you're using it. And it'll be a little more important that you're opening up the game more often than you do. Not even to play the game specifically, like to actually return foundables. This one with port keys so important. For me, it's reminders to myself, just open up the game and see if I've walked that port key. I have the sync enabled. So for me, just walking around or even just moving, anything you're doing is getting that distance. Port keys do unlock quicker than I usually open up the game, and usually I don't care. I just open it up, and I've probably walked twice the distance I need, but I just didn't open up the game. So it'll be a reminder to me to just check the game. Just check it again, check it again, check it again, so that every time a port key finishes, I can move that gold key down, or just remember to open it, and so I can pick up more. So because time is really going to be your greatest foe in this one against these port key fragments. So anyway, I'll be clearing those out later today. See it in tomorrow's episode. And then I might even pick up more port keys, but I'm going to make sure that'll be lower ones, or if I do pick them up, I'm going to walk them and make sure to clear them out before this event starts on Tuesday at 9. 9. And the last thing we have to do for today's episode is finish up the Wizarding Weekend event, which I did actually, I needed 2 more unicorns, if you saw last episode. 2 more unicorns. I did manage to get both unicorns, and it wasn't the one I just saw a second ago. I got them the same day that I had talked about potentially seeing 2 after we finished the episode. I definitely saw 2 more. I saw more than 2 more. I also saw a ton of alchemy eggs, not as many newts, tons of alchemy eggs though. So let's go ahead and collect the 10 unicorn foundables so I get the level 3 runestone. And then we're finishing up the event by getting the 200 family experience, the 3 spell books, the wit sharpening, a silver key, I can use that, and the 20 energy. So really, and people have commented on this, those rewards really not that rewarding, for lack of a better term. But wit sharpening, I don't really use them much. If bravery gets cast by a magic zoologist, you're pretty much set, and the wit sharpening isn't necessary. The spell books, I don't need them anymore unless they come up with new lessons. I'm just stockpiling. The family experience is always nice because of the rank ups, and I can get treasure trunks, so I'll get some experience from that, from the SOS nodes and things like that I've boosted. Energy, okay, energy. So yeah, the rewards for this definitely not as enticing as previous times. I would have hoped they would start putting Defense Against Dark Arts books in these. I know they haven't before, but things can change, and that would be something that would be an incentive for people to finish these, is to have something they can use. Because I know a lot of people, I'm not max level by any stretch of the imagination. Max level people seeing this set of rewards, it's not huge for them. I know a lot of people have posted that there's nothing here they really can use. That 200 family experience is really the only thing that's going to give them a shot at a Trace Charm recharge, or something they would get from getting a Wizarding Trunk. That's really so it's really almost just the chance at getting something, as opposed to that itself being something they need. Anyway, I am going to collect it. The silver key, sorry. But now the silver key is actually going to be useful to me next week. Before I would have been like, I use the gold key. I'm patient. I'm not in a rush to open up things. Now I'm in a rush to open up things. So that silver key will be nice. That's going to do it for today's episode. A lot is definitely happening in the game right now, in both announcements and changes, and then dragons coming in and that type of thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what update 2.15 has in the way of fixes. I don't need new features yet. In fixes, I'm curious, and when they do announce that, I'll definitely have a video for you guys explaining what is supposed to be fixed, and we'll see how it goes from there. All that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Nox.